Welcome, car lovers. Picture this for a moment. You are sitting at your desk, perhaps with a cup of tea that has gone slightly cold, scrolling through a classified listing, and there it is. A 2022 Lucid Air, original sticker price hovering somewhere north of $120,000. And now, right in front of you, the asking price reads $60,000. Roughly half. A luxury electric sedan, once pitched as the future itself, now available for the price of a very ordinary BMW 5 Series with a few options ticked, and the question forms naturally, almost unavoidably. If this is the best electric car in the world for the price of a base model luxury sedan, why isn't everyone buying one? This is where our story begins, and it is not a simple story of bargains and clever shopping. It is a story of gravity, of financial reality, and of a very modern kind of luxury trap. In our previous conversation, we talked about value loss, about depreciation not as an abstract percentage on a spreadsheet, but as something you feel in your gut when you realize the car you bought with pride has quietly shed the value of a small house extension. The Lucid Air was one of the most dramatic examples of that phenomenon, not because it is bad, quite the opposite. In fact, it is because it arrived with such towering ambition, such technical audacity that reality eventually had to intervene. Let us be absolutely clear about one thing from the outset. The Lucid Air, as a machine, is remarkable. Its range figures embarrassed the competition when it launched. Its drivetrain efficiency is an engineering marvel. Its ride quality, particularly in the higher trims, has a composure that suggests the chassis engineers were not asleep at the wheel. This is not some half-finished science project. It is a deeply sophisticated automobile, and yet, here it sits discounted by 50%. Like a designer suit on a clearance rack, still impeccably tailored, but somehow unwanted. The temptation is obvious. $60,000 for a car that once challenged the Mercedes S-Class and Tesla Model S head-on. The interior feels airy, almost architectural. The screens are vast, the acceleration effortless, the silence profound. For a certain kind of buyer, this feels like discovering buried treasure. But treasure, as history repeatedly reminds us, is often buried for a reason. The problem is not the car you see, it is the company behind it. Lucid is not Toyota. It is not Mercedes-Benz, it is not even Tesla, for all of Tesla's well-documented eccentricities. Lucid is a young manufacturer operating in a brutally expensive industry, burning cash at a rate that would make a venture capitalist break into a cold sweat. And that leads us directly into the heart of the trap. Cars like this are not just transportation. They are rolling ecosystems of software, sensors, bespoke components, and proprietary systems. When everything works, it feels effortless. When something goes wrong, it becomes a question of survival, not yours, perhaps. But the cars consider the warranty. A 2022 Lucid Air is now, in many cases, approaching the end of its comprehensive coverage. That means you are stepping into ownership of a vehicle with an extraordinary level of technological complexity, without the safety net that originally made that complexity tolerable. If a Windows switch fails on a 20-year-old Mercedes, you sigh, you order a part, and life goes on. If a high-voltage control module, a bespoke touchscreen interface, or a proprietary power electronics unit fails on a Lucid Air out of warranty, the story is very different. You are no longer dealing with a global parts network refined over decades. You are dealing with a startup, and startups, however brilliant their ideas, have an unfortunate habit of disappearing. This is the uncomfortable question that no glossy brochure ever addresses. If Lucid were to falter, or worse, cease operations, who services the car, who updates the software, who supplies replacement components that cannot simply be sourced from a third-party catalog? Electric vehicles, more than any cars before them, rely on ongoing digital support. The Lucid Air's brilliance is inseparable from its software range, optimization, charging management, driver assistance systems, infotainment integration. These are not static features, they evolve, or they decay. Without a functioning manufacturer behind the scenes, a car like this risks becoming a very expensive ornament, perfectly drivable perhaps, but frozen in time. And when something fails that requires factory authorization or proprietary tools, the phrase "out of warranty" suddenly feels far more serious than it ever did on a conventional sedan. This is not alarmism, it is simple risk assessment. Now let us talk about ownership experience, because this audience understands something younger buyers often do not. Luxury is not just how something feels on day one, it is how it behaves on day 1000. Early Lucid owners have reported a mixed experience. Some have enjoyed flawless operation and attentive service. Others have encountered software issues that required repeated visits, long waits for parts, and a level of uncertainty that feels out of place in a six-figure automobile. When a company is small, every problem is magnified. there is no buffer, and then there is the matter of perception. Like it or not, resale value is a reflection of collective confidence. When a car loses half its value in 2 years, the market is telling you something, not about the quality of the product, necessarily, but about faith in its future. Now, let us bring in the comparison, because context matters. For $60,000, you could walk into a dealership today and drive out in a brand new Tesla Model 3 Performance, or a Hyundai Ioniq 6 with every option selected. These are not aspirational concepts. They are known quantities. The Tesla is hardly a paragon of traditional craftsmanship. The interior materials are functional rather than indulgent, and the ride can be firm, but the infrastructure behind it is formidable. Charging networks, software updates, parts availability. This is an ecosystem that exists and functions at scale. You are buying into something established. The Hyundai, meanwhile, is a masterclass in quiet competence. It does not shout, it does not posture, but it is backed by one of the most reliable manufacturing operations in the world. The warranty is generous, the dealer network extensive, and the engineering conservative in the best possible sense of the word. Against these, the Lucid Air feels like an exquisite but fragile artifact. More advanced in many respects, more emotionally engaging, but also far more exposed. This is where the financial angle becomes unavoidable. The Lucid Air at $60,000 is not cheap. It is discounted. There is a difference. Cheap implies low risk. Discounted implies deferred risk. You are effectively being paid in advance to accept uncertainty. For some people, that trade makes sense. If you are a technology enthusiast with deep pockets, a second vehicle in the garage, and a tolerance for unpredictability, the Lucid Air can be a fascinating ownership experience. You will enjoy one of the finest electric drivetrains ever produced. You will experience a level of refinement that few EVs can match, and you will do so at a price that feels on paper extraordinary. But you must be honest with yourself. You are not buying transportation, you are buying an experiment. For the sensible commuter, the man who values reliability over novelty, who expects his car to start every morning without drama, and who does not enjoy negotiating with service departments over firmware versions, this is not a bargain. It is a liability. There is also the psychological cost to consider. Owning a car from a struggling manufacturer carries a subtle weight. Every earnings report, every headline, every rumor becomes personal. You are no longer just a driver. You are an unwilling shareholder in a corporate narrative you cannot control, and that, for many, is exhausting. So we arrive at the verdict, and it must be clear because ambiguity is a luxury this audience does not appreciate. If you are risk-tolerant, financially secure, technically curious, and emotionally prepared for the possibility that your luxury sedan may one day become difficult to support, then, yes, a used Lucid Air at $60,000 can be a remarkable indulgence. It offers performance range and presence that embarrass cars costing far more. As a calculated gamble, it is defensible. But if you are looking for peace of mind, predictable ownership costs, and a car that will quietly do its job for the next decade, then you should run. Not because the Lucid Air is a bad car, but because it is a brilliant car trapped in an uncertain future. And the most expensive mistake in motoring has never been buying the wrong car. It has always been buying the right car at the wrong time.